Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's your boy JT, and in today's video, we're going to talk about camera movements in editing. So you didn't have a slider, you didn't have a gimbal, you had a tripod, or you had your handheld. But we're going to show you how to use that camera footage that you got to create movement, to add some dynamics to your shot, to keep your viewers engaged. We're going to keep them interested. We're going to keep those eyes moving. We're going to create some cinematic motions. If you're new here, I want to say thank you for stopping by. Please consider subscribing. We're a growing channel. We're a small channel, but we're a growing channel. We just hit 450 subscribers, and I'm so thankful to everyone for all the love. So let's get ready to get into this edit. We're about to create some motion. Now, a few videos back, I introduced you to keyframes, right? So we know the keyframes can allow us to basically transform our video clips from one state to another, whether that be size, position, rotation. We can even, do some stuff with color. We can do a lot of different things with keyframing because we're basically saying from one point in time you're one way, and then at another point in time you're another way, right? So that's the same thing when it comes to being able to create camera movement. You may not have thought about it like that, but that's literally what it is. So on this first one, let's find a spot right here. Okay, let me see here. Let's see real quick. Okay, I want to right before she puts her headphones on. Okay, I like this part right here. So what I'm getting ready to do is I'm basically getting ready to, it's already in slow motion. All right, it was shot at 60 frames a second, so we've already slowed it down. I could probably slow it down even more and add some other, magic sauce to it to get it even smoother. But for the most part, let's ride with this. All right, now, so on set, you may have wanted to do, like a push in, right? But you didn't. And so now you've decided, I wish I could do a push in on this shot. Well, you can. So now remember when I said that, however far the distance in numbers that you put from the start to the finish will determine how fast or how slow that movement is. Like right now, we're at a 1.08, right? So I'm going to use my keyframe to lock us in right there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and lock us in all the way for everything. That means if I make any changes at all on here, it's going to impact what happens at that particular point in time. So right now we're at a 1.08. We want to do a camera push in on this particular clip. So now we're going to come all the way over to the end. And now we'll come over one so I can see what's going on. So now I want to zoom in some about, I don't want it to be too much. I want it to be a really slow push in. So we're going to do two different values. One with a lower value, one with a higher value. Let's say 1.22. All right, let's try this. See, we're getting closer. Subtle.
It's 11:30.
All right, so as you can see, if we look at the number, we started out at 1.08, and as we got closer to the end, you see that number. See this? Watch this number over here. See where I'm moving my mouse? Watch that number. It's going to continue to zoom in even more. All right. So now, it was very, very subtle. There was not a huge difference, but let's say we want to actually make a huge difference, right? Okay, let's come to the end over here. All right, now we come to 1.220. Let's make it 1.5. Okay, so that's where our zoom is going to be. Now let's come in.
It's 11:30.
So you see, the higher that number is, the faster that zoom is going to be because it's got to get to that number. Whatever number you specify, that's the number it's going to be by the time you get to the end of your push-in camera movement. However, we did a push-in after the fact in editing. So this is something that you can do with keyframes, which is also the reason why I told you in the video of, when we're talking about camera gear, to make sure that your camera is at least 4K. So this right here, I believe I shot in 6K, so I can zoom in a lot and still be able to keep the quality of the clip intact. You know what I'm saying? So that's one move. We're gonna say that's the push-in move, right? And I'll tell you what, let's do this. I'm gonna duplicate this clip. No, we're gonna go to the next clip for this next effect. All right, now we're gonna do a pull out. Okay, so we're at 1.08 right now. Let's do this. I'm gonna zoom in to like 1.7. All right, now what I want to do is I'm getting ready to add a keyframe. I'm gonna add a keyframe right here to the beginning. So that means, because I want to come all the way out, and so I'm gonna add a keyframe right there at the beginning. That's gonna lock us in at this 1.7, and then I'm gonna come all the way to the end. I'm gonna come over one frame so I can see what's going on, and then I'm gonna, let me see, how much do I want it to come out? Let's zoom out. This is our pull out move right here. 1.12. I like that. Maybe more. I go 1.08 is the lowest I can go because of how I shot this. But now let's try this. Let's look and see how it looks.
11:31.
Nice, slow.
Now the party's done. Get off the floor.
So you see that? So the first one was a camera push in. This one was a camera pull out. You see, we just created those two moves after the actual shoot is done. You see, so it's not difficult. It's just understanding the keyframes. There's a camera push in. There's a camera pull out. All right. Now let's go on to this next clip. This will be our next clip. We'll duplicate these and do a couple more just to be able to do some. All right. Now, one of the things that you have to do, and this is really problem solving, is I want to pan, okay? Like as if my, well, I'm not going to say pan. Instead of pan, I'm going to say I want to slide. So as if my camera is actually on a slider. When you have a slider, you can put it on there and make it go from left to right, right to left, that kind of thing. Just a nice, slow sliding movement. What I'm going to do is, the problem solving part of that is this. So my clip right now currently fills my frame, right? So in order for me to be able to make this move, number one, it's going to be a very, very, very subtle move, because this is not a wide shot. All right, this is pretty much a close up. And so this, like I said, this is more about problem solving right now. Well, I want to be able to do a sliding motion. We're going to say from left to right, and but that means I need to give myself a little more real estate, right? Because if I just try to move this clip, let's say like this, you see what happens? Left to right, you see what happens? I run out of real estate, right? So one thing that automatically tells me is I can't try to make this slide super fast. Now, we double click on position to put us back. Now, but what I can do is this. If I zoom in some, now I can kind of bring it over something to cheat over this way. Okay, so we got that close up that we wanted. We're just trying to emphasize this artist. So now I'm going to add a keyframe at the very beginning, right? I'm gonna come over here, come over one frame so I can see what's going on. Now, what I want to do is, in a very subtle way, I'm gonna pull her over like this. Yeah, come on. All right, come on. We just want to add some movement. I want to add enough to where I almost can get her all the way over there. Let's see. Keep going. Yeah. Okay. Almost. See, I'll know when I hit my absolute limit because black bars start appearing on the other side. All right. Now watch this. Hold up. Maybe we're going to show you something. You know what? I'm actually liking that, because if I had it on the camera on a slider, I would probably want a nice subtle slow as a B cam or something like that. So let's check it out. Let's check out and see how it looks.
Time to go home, or you can stay the night.
Okay, so what I just noticed, and I'm glad this happened, because you can see the clip that I chose, I think it was handheld right there. So there's some camera movement in there. So what I need to do is I need to find enough of that clip where it's as static as possible and then make that move. So now, let me show you how you get out of that. You can do it a couple of different ways. I'm gonna double click on zoom. You see what it's gonna do? It's gonna put it back at a 1 frame. I'm gonna go 1.08 there. The only reason you don't see it is because my playhead is not over the top of it, but there it goes. Okay, now I'm gonna double click on my position. That's gonna reset that back. So also, I'm gonna turn these keyframes off for everything. All right, there we go. Let me put it back at 1.08. Good deal, good deal. Yeah, see this, look, mistakes are not a bad deal in this situation. We can make sure that you get what I'm getting. So let's see where it actually works out for us and where it doesn't. Let's see. Okay, handheld.
Time to go home.
About right there. Let's see how it looks. Okay. All right, so that's where it begins to kind of level off. We've gotten settled down. So I pulled this all from another clip, so let me see here. I just want to get something that's kind of consistent for us.
Time to go home. Time to.
Right there. All right, so we're going to use this small clip right here, and we're still going to do the same thing, because ultimately we're in control. We're not going to let the clip beat us. We got it. Let's see. This works.
Time to.
Okay, now let's see how much we got of a nice hold right there. Think about right there. Let's see.
Time to go home.
Okay, perfect. This will work right here. All right, now, once again, we're getting ready to hit our keyframe. Bam. We want to pan from left to right. And this is on a close-up, so it's going to be a subtle movement. It's not going to be herky-jerky or anything like that. All right, now, let's go. We're going to come back to the beginning. Now we're going to scale in some. All right, we're going to need some real estate in order to be able to make this happen. Then we're going to move it over this way some. Enough to where we keep it all in. Remember, we only got but a little bit of time on this frame, so it's going to be a very subtle movement, but you'll see it. All right. Yeah. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's see. Yep.
Time to go home.
There you go. That's it. I mean, it really is, you know. So watch this. One more thing. Let's do this. Let's copy this one over. And then we're just going to, we'll cut it off right here. Yes, to trim that up. Now watch this. I'm getting ready to pretty much set this back to the way that it was from the very beginning. All right, now this is a nice static shot. We probably could have did this one as well, just by zooming in to give us a little more space to play with. But let's rotate. Let's do a rotate camera move. All right. So right here, we're just like that. I'm going to set this. Let me see. Okay, so you see how that is, right? You see where the black areas are? All you have to do to be able to correct that, because we're going to need that real estate, is that we're getting ready to, we just have to zoom in some. Now, let's come all the way to the end, and this is how you would do a rotate. There we go. Okay, now there's going to be a point where you see black. When you see that, let me see here.
Or you can stay the night. I know where we've been.
Easy peasy. This is how you can do camera movement. Now, there's some other way more in-depth, intermediate, advanced level camera moves that you can do in there, especially when it comes to things like camera tracking, where you're actually tracking, you're doing camera movements, tracking movements on objects, on people, on subjects, or things, or whatever, including being able to put things on other objects and track those. But that's not where we are. That's not what we're doing. This is where we live right now. That means practice, 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 and after you did that practice, practice some more. That's where we are. We've got to get these reps in. You getting comfortable with these keyframes is going to be a tremendous asset. And again, like I said, there's all kinds of transition packs that will get out there and do this kind of thing for, but you getting this fundamental knowledge of how to do it allows you to walk and move within any software package for video editing, at least, and be able to go in and modify, manipulate things in a way that you want to do. That gives you the ultimate power to be as creative as you can. So let's see. We'll just kind of go over these different ones. Let's check them out.
It's 11:31. Now the party's done. Get off the floor. Time to go home. Or you can stay the night. I know where we've been.
And there it is. So we just did 4 different camera moves in post, but those were all pretty much, for the most part, just static shots or handheld shots. And even on your handheld shots, when you got a little movement, there are some other things that you can do. Like I said, we don't want to put too much on you right now. We just want you to get these basics, these fundamentals. But there's some things that you can do even in that when it comes to, like stabilization. We can come in and do some. There's quite a bit. There's quite a few different things that you can do. But let's get a hold of this, because again, we're building on things. We went over keyframes, and you understanding keyframes will allow you to do this with ease. And so we know how to even add movement to our images and our video clips using keyframes. We know how to quick zoom. We know how to do a lot of stuff. So practice, practice, practice. We're getting to a point where we get ready to make that next step. But right now, it's a time for practice. You've got video clips. If you don't have video clips, go out and shoot something. You know what camera settings that you need to have. You know what you need to be shooting at 4K or 4K 60 frames a second, even if it's with your phone. The phones will do them. And now you've got some tutorial videos that you can be able to use to really get you going. Don't, fall victim of, I've got to get this camera that shoots 4K, 120 frames a second, or I gotta get this gimbal, I gotta get that. Learn these fundamentals, because these fundamentals are gonna serve you well into the future, well into how it is that you progress in this craft. So, and that's what we're about. We're trying to hit it right now at this stage, at this level, so that, when it is time to make that jump, you're not having to spend all your time in YouTube tutorial world trying to figure it out. All right, so look, if this video has brought some added value to you and your content creation, please consider subscribing. Like I said in the beginning, we had 450 subscribers. Whoa. I was like, man, it says a lot. With the number of hours that people have been putting in watching these videos here lately, it's like, man, I'm really helping some folks. They not just, this ain't no bots. This is not that whole paid for play type deal. I mean, this is, authentic followers and people actually putting time in. That means I'm actually helping some people. So look, if you've got a question, if there's something right now that you feel like is beginner that I haven't touched already and that I haven't spoken on that I will be touching in the future, please, please, please drop a comment. Let me know. reach out to me. I'm not hard to find at all. And I promise you, we'll get you there. And look, I'm one of those cats that if I don't know, I bet I can find a resource to make sure that you can find out. So, guys, hey, I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for spending this time with me. Have a great week. I've got some stuff coming up. Stay tuned. I've got some stuff coming up. We're going to see you on the next one.